G'day fellas and welcome to a casted game. Spawning in on the south side of the map, we've got Neptune, who is playing the Chinese. Over on the opposite side of the map, in the color red, playing as the Rus, we have got Zertan. This game is on Lipany. This is a map that is typically a map that you would see players look to play Abbasid Dynasty or even the Delhi Sultanate. But in this situation, both players looking to go for a bit of, I wouldn't necessarily say off-meta picks, but I would definitely say that, you know, these are civilized or civs that you typically don't see on this map. You can see Neptune actually going to be looking to collect wolves down here towards the south, and Zertan going to be moving out with his scout, looking to capitalize on that that early pressure that the Rus are able to put out. For anybody unfamiliar with the Rus, they have ice skating scouts. I'm not sure if you guys saw that. We had a bit of an ice skating scout coming through there, but Zertan going to be dropping down that hunting cabin, already getting out a third scout. So starting scout with the town center. I want to check in on Neptune. He has actually made a second scout by the looks of it. So he's going to have that first and second scout up. Manages to find his hunt up towards this northern position here. Should be able to clean it up before before the scout from Zertan comes in. But he's got another hunt down towards that south position that still has yet to be found. A little bit of a difficult spot as well. Not normally the first spot you'd check down there. So hopefully he finds that one out soon. But we'll check in with Zertan. We'll talk a little bit about how we expect this game to unfold. Because for anybody unfamiliar with this matchup, this is going to be a battle of the late game. Or at least this is what I suspect it will be. A battle of the late game. And the reason why is because both of these civs excel in the late game. But in my opinion, if I had to pick one, I would probably pick the Rus. But obviously that just comes down to whether you play it perfectly or not. Now, when it comes to playing this perfectly, I would expect genuinely that these players are pretty close to playing it perfectly because both of them have got very high rankings. Zertan currently sits at rank 27 on the ladder. Neptune currently, oh my lord, Neptune currently sits at rank 34. Apologies for hitting the Windows button there. A bit of a fat finger. I'm not sure exactly what I revealed to you guys, so hopefully it wasn't too bad. But yeah, this is, you know, I would expect that the games or the positions from these players should get played rather quite immaculately. So I'm looking forward to seeing exactly how Neptune looks to deal with the late game of the Rus, and I wouldn't be surprised if we actually see Neptune try and obtain a lead in the early game. So Neptune is a China main. Now, when I say that doesn't mean he plays exclusively China, but he does tend to play China a lot more than other civilizations. We actually covered Neptune quite a bit a couple of months ago, actually, but he did actually make his games hidden on the ladder. So this one actually is being casted from the perspective of Zertan, or rather, I've just gone in and right-clicked Observe Zertan, because I think Neptune just has himself marked as offline. But anyway, you can see that he's got a pretty standard opening down here. Going to be opening with a wheelbarrow. I take it back. This is not a standard opening. And this is a really interesting tech. So a lot of people look at early wheelbarrow and they think, you know, wheelbarrow is actually a pretty decent tech. And to be fair, it's actually good on most civs, except, in my opinion, the Chinese. The Chinese I don't actually think it's good for. And you might be wondering why. Let me explain. So he's got wheelbarrow in now, okay? So it means that all of his villagers are going to be dropping off 5 more resources than what they normally would. But this is where the tax mechanic is a little bit bugged. It doesn't store integers, and it also, and I know this is going to sound even wilder, as far as I'm aware, the tax mechanic is meant to give 10% of the resources that you gather as tax. At least that's the way that I understood it. I don't know where I got that from. Maybe it's like the UI, the tech tree or something. But here you can see that he's actually he's gathering up 18 of the resources, but it's only going up by 1. Every single time he drops off at this mill, it's going to just go up by 1. And even if he researches survival techniques, which increases it by 15, so he goes up to carrying a base of 35, and then if he buffs that up with the Imperial Official, which takes up to 42, he's still only dropping off 1, when you would think he would be dropping off 4 tax. And this really starts to add up, because when you think about it, you know, if you put the Imperial Academy down, which is exactly what he's doing, next to this, then that should be, you know, these guys here should be dropping off, you know, 1.8, and then it should be 3.6 gold. Because you can see right there, they're dropping off 18, and then it doubles up from the mill, or from the Imperial Official, sorry, from the Imperial Academy to 3.6. So the question is, you know, I don't know whether it's bugged. It might not be bugged. It might be a balanced decision, just because obviously that could get out of hand really, really quickly. if you had a hunt in your base, so obviously you can see the hunt here. It's up towards this northern position. Great spot for a mill here as well. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4 deer around it, and a whole bunch of berries. A very nice spot there. But, you know, if you were to stack an Imperial Academy and an Imperial Official and Wheelbarrow on top of that, then it becomes, you know, very, very good. But that's really the only exception to the Chinese, or the issue with the Chinese, is that with their early Wheelbarrow, it is just going to reduce their tax income. So if you are relying on the tax income, which you should be as a, you know, as a Chinese player, that should be part of your game plan, is to rely on tax and to use tax. A barracks is going to be coming down now for Neptune. Then you should be considering that fact. And very, very annoying coming out from Zerton, those scouts. But now the first knight going to be moving out as well. Also going with the archery range, dropping down the wooden fortress. Just looking to play one base at this stage. And keep in mind, the Rus economy very, very strong in this position. So he's probably going to have Wheelbarrow coming through shortly. Has got the stable and archery range. And also in the wooden fortress, that's going to be buffing up that wood income. Golden Gate going to be able to provide additional resources as well. Every minute an extra 50 resources there. So he'll be happy with that. And a lot of flexibility coming in on that as well. So that's another really strong aspect of it. But now we can see that knight beginning to move around. Now the base of Zerton has been scattered out. He knows that there are double production facilities here. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a stable coming out of Neptune shortly. Typically in this matchup, you would like to play a melee composition. So that would include rather your spearmen as well as your horsemen. But obviously once it starts getting to higher numbers, the spearmen typically need to be backed up by Chokun or something like that. But now villager going to be falling back. Nice little pull there. He manages to get it back towards that town center. Keeps the villager alive. Very well played. I don't know whether he would have survived that here. I suspect he probably wouldn't have because it only had 21 health. I'm pretty sure it does 23 health, the knight, but we'll have to wait. We'll have to see exactly what it does. But Zerton just going to be able to scout out the enemy villagers, sees all of them. Second knight going to be coming down for him as well. Any text coming through, doesn't look like it at this stage. And actually just putting a hunting cabin down on the berries. Interestingly, didn't go for this position here up against the wood line. It would have been a much more effective hunting cabin. And now Zerton going to be coming in once again on the backside here. You can see he came through. Stable going to be dropped down. It does get scouted out. Zerton knows what his enemy's up to. You would expect that, and a barracks would now come out in response to it. There's the barracks, timing like clockwork there. Zerton doing very well in his response. And we can see just how many units are in queue right now for Neptune. He is going ham with this. Knight running in at full speed. You can see that the Imperial Official gets out barely. I say barely, but I mean, it's not really barely. And now a little bit of a misclick coming through. Zerton making a mistake. And yeah, very rare to see Zerton making a mistake like that, but not able to click the villager. I think he was probably going for it. You can see there's quite a few low health villagers in there. So yeah, always going to try and hit those. But yeah, at this point in time, Neptune, he's really focusing on collecting up that mill. But look at the gold that he's got sitting in this mill as well. So this is something to always remember, is that your gold just stacks up so quickly with the Imperial Academy. And you can see 18 is being, you know, kept in there. Imagine if you were to take that and improve it from a wheelbarrow, you know, multiply that by 1.8, because that's essentially what we are doing. That is what the true tax in there should be. It should be, you know, times whatever that is, times 1.8. But now Scout's going to have to fall back. Knights doing their best to try and force these units back, but they're going to spot all of the archers coming through here. Both Scouts going to be going down. Unfortunate position for Neptune, but he's going to be struggling. And with an archer mass like that, you would think that a battering ram would be coming through shortly. No blacksmith coming up just yet, it seems. But I would expect it rather to be sooner rather than later. I guess one thing for Zerton to note, though, is that if he does go for a battering ram, there's nothing really to punish here from the Chinese player, so always going to be a bit difficult. But now, looks like we might have ourselves a battle beginning to unfold. Horseman actually going to be looking to connect here. You can see the way that he's focusing, just making sure he's going after the archers first. Of the spearman going to come in now, and he falls back just at the sign of a single spearman, because he knows that there could be more on the way, in a very correct, or very accurate, very wise decision there from our Chinese player. But now you can see the forces of his opponent, or Neptune rather, beginning to build. He's got quite a number of units out here, and you can see the Imperial officials. He's got 3 out at the moment. He's supervising up that stable, supervising up the mill, supervising up the lumber camp. He is supervising all 3 of his production buildings, and now it looks like he's going to be moving down towards this position on the south. You can see villagers coming down there. Zerton, I don't know whether he actually spotted that. He moved the scout into position, but the villagers going to be able to run just a little bit by, and I saw the edge of the line of sight was moving, so who knows whether he actually spotted it. But you can see he's camping up the hunt. He's camping up the berries at this point in time on this set of berries as well. Got to be careful here. Neptune, he's going to move out, potentially scares that scout in the wrong direction. He does scare it back towards the stealth forest though. So Neptune now going to be looking to grab that archery range, so heading into a try composition here. Now, China probably shouldn't be losing at this point in the game, just simply because he hasn't invested in anything else. He's only just been going for his production. He hasn't gone into a second town center. He hasn't gone into a Song dynasty. He's got nothing that can really be punished. So hypothetically, he shouldn't be losing. He hasn't lost too many vills. I think, actually, I don't think he's lost a vill yet. So Neptune's done very well to survive, considering how open his wood line is. But on the same side, or by the same token, Zerton, back towards his base, you can see that he's heavily investing in one base as well. Looks like it's just going to be +1 ranged armor for him coming through. And now that mass really starting to build for our Chinese player. And I think at this point, you've got to sort of wonder whether the knight is worth it for Zerton. You can see that Neptune runs in, donates a couple of horsemen over to his opponent. But yeah, the reason why I say that is because the knight is good against everything, but it doesn't specialize in killing the archer. Obviously, all of these units have got bonuses. Archer has a bonus against spears. Spearman has a bonus against cavalry. Horseman, bonus against ranged units. Whereas the knight, it's just got a flat bonus damage, or a flat damage amount. So it's good against everything, but, you know, the jack of all trades is the master of none. So that's always important to remember. And now these villagers down at the bottom here are going to get scouted out. It doesn't look like we've got survival techniques coming through. A very rare, honestly, a very rare technology that people do like to, or people do like to research. People don't like to research, I guess, is the best way to say it. Now wall going to be coming up here for Neptune. A very wise decision as well. You can see that wall might actually get taken out here. The scout just going to stand on in that position, and it looks like that villager going to try to get it. Oh, he actually gets up the wall, but now going to be blocking it, and Neptune going to be moving around. Nope, Neptune not even moving around. He's actually just going to, Zerton just going to be busting through that wall. Knight's going to be looking to get their charge out. I still don't see any units coming in. A little bit of a misplay coming in through here from Neptune, but I guess at the same time he wasn't really aware of the forces that were sitting and waiting in hiding for him. First villager of the game does go down now, and Zerton going to be on the retreat, but at the same time, a potential trap coming in, ladies and gentlemen. I think we might have ourselves a trap here. Let's take a look and see as Neptune begins to round the corner. He's got a huge mass of military here. It is indeed the trap coming out. Archer's got to be careful here. Knight's going to be able to find a great position. Look at the spears. Look at the spears. Spears out of position. Horseman just chasing. This is a terrible fight right now for Neptune. He's got to wake up at the keyboard. He's fallen asleep. Look at this. All the horsemen just falling away up towards the top. He's able to sort of divert the forces of his enemy, and now going to manage to come back around the trap, looking very, very strong. Looks like he's managed to put horsemen around the back as well as around the front. Brings those ones around the back, and look, once again, we see the spearmen chasing away the horsemen. At the same time, the horsemen on the front going to be getting some great trades in. Managed to fall back. Archer's going to be teeing off towards that position. Still just a handful of spears here, but Neptune has done a great job at managing this engagement. And really, I think at this point, you got to just hand it to Neptune. He played it quite well in that situation, but obviously, a little bit of miss micro coming out from both players. It's very easy for me as a caster to be saying that. Obviously, you know, I'm not microing or macroing behind it. I don't have idle villagers to think about. I don't have all that stuff. Now archers, or rather spears, making... I think that's a little bit of a bug, honestly. I don't like that. So the spears, he wanted them to engage, and he attack moved them. But they all, because the knights were charging, the horsemen were in front, and so they all just stood still. And it's like, no, don't stand still. I want you guys to get to the front here. But now Neptune continuing to chase down his enemy at this point in time. We can see that he's really starting to pull ahead when it comes to the military numbers. At least the military numbers that are on this front line here. Gets a nice little screen in here. Spearman actually going to be able to find a great connection. This is exactly what you want. Horseman also going to be doing a bit of cleaning up, but you can see the spears are getting in there as well. More units coming in on the back line, and he's got to be careful not to overextend. If he overextends in this position, he could potentially lose all of his units. You can see he's got the extra +1 ranged armor, Zerton does, and obviously +1 attack coming out for Neptune, +1 ranged attack rather coming out for him, but he's got to be so careful not to overextend. This is really where it could all go wrong for him, and you can see he is looking to push in and punish at this point in time, but I don't think he's going to be able to do that. And so I would say, you know, if I'm coaching Neptune, I'm in his ear right now, I would say, look, your best bet from this point, think about Castle Age, think about Song Dynasty, think about dropping a second town center. Just one of those things. But at this point in time, if you're going to push, you are potentially going to really hurt yourself. But let's see exactly how he looks to play it. We'll head back towards his base. It doesn't look like a Song Dynasty is coming in just yet. He's got 1,100 gold in the bank. That is a lot of gold. And there is still gold in these buildings. So 80 gold down here in this one, 205 in this one, nothing on that one. But he's got plenty of tax still here to collect. Supervising now on this mill, this great little mill that we talked about earlier. Really one of the dream spots here. And still no survival techniques despite taking multiple hunts. Manages to secure up this wall on the back line. We see a counter wall coming in now from Zerton as well. He's looking to wall up absolutely everything. He's sitting on 310 bounty at the moment, so it makes a lot of sense to try and take control of these deer here. But obviously there's boars in the middle of the map as well. Still yet to take those, and now we see him going up for a Castle H himself. So I think this is probably, you know, I talked about pushing and overextending. In the event that you actually scout your enemy is in the transition, then you can definitely look to punish them, especially with a landmark position like this. So we saw the archers pushing up. If there was a scout behind enemy lines for Neptune and he scouts that landmark coming down and he's got all of his forces out here, by all means, move into the base and really look to punish this. But obviously, Zerton not really in a position to do that, or rather, Neptune wasn't in a position to do that, did not have that knowledge of what his enemy was up to. And now we're going to see that Castle Age coming out. We'll take a quick look at the relics and see how the distribution is. Looks to be pretty fair. 2 safe relics for both players, 1 in the middle of the map, so very easy for Zerton to clean those up. But at the same time, these 2 relics up towards this northern position could potentially get taken. You can see the walls actually coming down for Zerton now as well. So looking to play the late game, and he's done a great job of just walling himself in here. I gotta say, I love these walls coming out from our Rus player here. It's just such a great way to protect yourself. Great way to protect yourself. But now Neptune up as well to the next stage. Where is that landmark that he's got? There it is. Astronomical clock tower. It's in the back of the base. So not going to be looking to put it near the Imperial Academy. Sometimes you do see players do that. And to be honest, it's probably not a bad idea. It's basically just refunding you constantly throughout the game. You think about it, right? Every time you make a Springald, as an example, that's 250 gold. Okay? But what if I told you that you can, if for every unit that you make, it's going to give you 32 tax gold. So that takes the price down from 250 gold to 220 gold. And then you stick it within the range of the Imperial Academy, which increases the tax generation of those buildings by 100%, and all of a sudden it's 64 gold discounted. So you're basically paying only 75% of the cost. Imperial official going to be going down. A lot of archers really starting to build up here for Neptune. He's still sitting on 1 base. No Song Dynasty yet for him at this point in time. 48 villagers versus 56 for Zerton. So Zerton definitely a little bit ahead, but a little bit ahead rather, not a little bit behead. That is a different video on a different website. Probably, actually, can you even get on those websites in 2022? You probably can. But yeah, that's more of an old school reference. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that, young kids. You just keep doing you keep playing Fortnite, doing those dances. But Archer mass really looking quite significant. And if there is one thing that I think about when I see an Archer mass this size, it's a mangonel. It's a mangonel. You hate to see it. You hate to see it, don't you? You really hate to see it. And this is just, you know, this is a consequence of the map spawn not looking the prettiest, not being the prettiest. He gets behind the walls. Zerton going to be scratching his head here, thinking, how the hell did he get behind that? He's going to know. He's got line of sight. But now this archer mass is really getting quite large. You can see the siege workshop coming down for Zerton. Definitely the right choice. The mass here really looking quite small for Zerton at the moment. He's on 33 military versus the 57 from his enemy. Veteran archers has come out. You can see the damage that comes down on these knights as well. These knights have got all their upgrades, and you can see just how quickly they go down in this position. He's going to be looking to trade off towards the back line. He's going to be able to get such a good trade in here. The siege workshop still under construction. Just one villager tapping away at a bit of a raid down towards the base now. Zerton doing a decent job of preventing his enemy from gathering resources on the gold mine. You can see villagers being rallied out to that position, but now going to be falling underneath the town center. Also, we see a... Oh my god, Mouse, can you stop doing that? That is very frustrating. Wallalol going to be coming down. It looks to get sniped straight away. So try to delay the attack, but not going to have a lot of success there. At the same time, Palace Guard's going to be coming in now, and this is where the idle economy happens. Now, we know that there is probably going to be a mangonel coming out here, but the question is it too little too late? Because at this point in time, it looks like everything is going to get cleaned up here, and he's going to be super happy inside the base of his enemy. You can see just how effective these trades are coming through as well. Town Center going to be firing down, but at the same time, that mangonel almost complete. Ideally, he should be thinking about this siege workshop. You should know, hey, there's a siege workshop here. It's going to be spoiling trouble for you. And that's what I'm really scared of at this point in time. So Mangonel about to come out. Villager's probably going to have to evacuate from the town center. Look to try and repair that Mangonel as soon as it's out. Let's see what he looks to do. Mangonel comes out. You can see it's getting focused down straight away. Villagers, or rather units, actually taking a fair bit of damage there. And you can see the Mangonel actually going to be taken out. Bit of a bad decision, IMO, not sending villagers out to repair that. That was such an easy repair. Sure, you might lose 2 villagers, but you saved the Mangonel. And the attack has all but been shut down now. So Neptune in a bit of a difficult position here. I don't know whether I would call that an overextension. Obviously, he had a bigger army than his enemy. At the moment, he sits on 19 military versus the 1 from Zerton. So he's still ahead in that regard. But villager count for Zerton's dropped to 44, whereas 52 villagers right now for his enemy, Neptune. Neptune now looking to farm it up. And this is the Chinese farm game. This is what I love from China. When we get these farms going, there's nothing more beautiful than watching a Chinese player building farms like crazy. I'm all about this farm life. And I'm looking forward to it because in the next patch when it comes out, we're going to be seeing non-stop farms because granaries are in, baby. Granaries are in. Obviously, at the moment, granaries are not in the best position. I'll be honest with you, they're still not going to be good when they're coming through in the next patch. They're still going to be absolutely terrible, but I'm sure people are still going to make them. They're going to try and make granaries work. I don't know how it's going to go. I suspect it might actually be decent in like long feudal fights where you've exhausted all the food on the map and you're transitioning into farms, and it's like, okay, well, I might make a granary then. You know, we might do it. But now it looks like Song Dynasty going to finally be coming through. Barbican of the Sun dropped down at 21 minutes here. So Neptune looking for a little bit of a late timing on this Song Dynasty. Now the Palace Guard's going to begin coming out here, and this is really where he's going to try and look to take control of the game. So Palace Guard's going to be coming out. If they manage to siege down this fortified palisade gate, they're going to be able to break through here and try and come through into all these different areas. You can see that Neptune still has units behind enemy lines at this point in time, but still not really able to do much. And you can see a single Palace Guard just going to be sieging down the wall here. Sacred Site going to be getting captured up here. Not for too long, though. Neptune is on the hunt. He is aware. Zerton going to be careful, though. But under attack from multiple angles. You can see the walls coming down here. And at the same time, it looks like that Warrior Monk going to be going down. He's trying to fall back. And look at that beautiful micro coming in there. Great micro coming out from our Chinese player. And we've now got the Barbican of the Sun going to be finishing up here. And macro looking very strong for Neptune. He's also dropped the second town center. He means business. And, I mean, China is in full gear at this point. Now, we talked about earlier about, you know, what you want to do after you've taken a good fight as China. And typically, you want to fall back and you want to either A, tech, B, dynasty, or C, add a second town center. Looks like Neptune is now doing 2 of those 3 things. Obviously, he already teched up to age 3, but he's now got the Song Dynasty and also the second town center. He's got the farm economy already to sustain this. So I think it's really important that he's going to have that accurate? That's an interesting question, Drongo. He's going to have an adequate, and did I say interesting question? He's going to have an adequate farm economy here. But now that Mangonel getting off some decent shots on those Palace Guards, ideally, I feel like against Mangonels, like, maybe do you want healers or something? But even, I don't know if healers are even that good. What does he got? He's got herbal medicine here, but I don't know how decent the monk is at healing. It says it heals friendly units, but one of the things I didn't know, prelates actually heal much slower than the Delhi monks. So Delhi monks heal at like just a ridiculous amount. I don't know if they are the unit that is like special and heals more than everybody else, or whether the prelate is slow at healing. But yeah, I would suspect the monks are the same as the prelate, and I would say that the Delhi one is just special. But that's something I should probably check. I'm curious because I'm just thinking like against Mangonels, like maybe that's you know what? Can we get a tech that makes? No, don't do that. Never mind. I literally had an idea and shut my idea down within 2 seconds. I was gonna be like, can we get a tech that makes monk healing AOE? Like just make it like point blank AOE, right? Like instead of the monk, because at the moment the monk is like able monk. I don't know. I just know someone's gonna get upset at my pronunciation. Like the monk normally would stand here and heal there. Make it so it has to stand right next to the unit that it's targeting, but then heal in an AoE. So you could actually see, but then the problem is like, what if you just make like 10 monks and they're all healing? Like, can you imagine? Like, you just can't, you literally couldn't kill anything. So yeah, don't do that. Don't do that, developers. That's a terrible idea. I don't know who this guy is that keeps coming up with these terrible ideas, but you shouldn't listen to him. Second town center now coming up for Zerton. Definitely a wise decision. Hasn't really scouted out what his enemy's up to. It's been quite a while since we've seen scouts coming out from him. But you can see the pressure that's being applied all throughout the map here from multiple angles. Keep going to be coming down. Zertan under significant a threat here. Palace Guard's going to be running past the man-at-arms. See you later, mate. See you later, nerd. And they run straight onto those Mangonels. Mangonel's just going to be going down completely. A single Palace Guard just sweeping past. And now those Mangonels... Oh, my... Yo, okay, he's gonna get it. So once again, third Mangonel of the game going down without villager intervention. Villagers obviously want to be pulled and kill, or rather healed. But keep going to be going up here. I think it's going to come up. Indeed, it does. First keep of the game now. Going to be able to hold this position. Springald going to be coming out as well. Ideally, you'd probably want to fall back, but it looks like he's going to push on through. So interesting decision. Let's see how it pans out for him. And Zertan under significant threat. 54 villagers for Zertan. 83 villagers for Neptune. He is up by 30 villagers at this point in time. 3 relics in the Abbey of the Trinity. 2 relics back in the monastery for Neptune. Interestingly, Neptune yet to really wall up. He's walled up down to the south, but I wouldn't really call that a wall. And playing up against the Rus, I feel like it's dangerous to leave those open. Obviously, our Rus player has walled up like a madman, walling up down towards the south, walling up all these little entrances throughout the game, but Neptune's just been really good about constantly abusing him in all different parts of the map. You can see that wall did finally come through over here in this position for his opponent, but now Zertan still yet to really spot out all the amazing work that is going on in the base of Neptune. And I gotta be honest, man, Neptune's base building is always impressive. Every time I watch Neptune, I'm very, very happy to see him and just watch the way that he plays. But now, looks like he's continuing to move into more farms. You can see he's got 43 villages. Look at the resources he's stacking up right now. Let's take a look at the income per minutes here. You can see Neptune is on 1,800 gold a minute right now. This guy's going ham. Going to be adding in another mill here, looking to really just go absolutely crazy. And so now he's going to be looking to go Imperial. So once he gets Imp, what is his decision? What is his game plan? Honestly, Palace Guards. Just keep making Palace Guards at this point. Raid going to be coming in on the gold mine. Imperial Official going to be going down, unfortunately. Let's see if he looks to queue up another one. He does immediately. Queues it up and cancels it. Springald's now going to be looking to take out that, and Spirit Way going to be coming down. So Neptune dropping the Spirit Way in a forward location. Could potentially look to go into Chokunu here. Grenadier is always an option. Or potentially look at going into Fire Lancers. But this Imperial is going to be coming through. He's got so many resources. I wouldn't be surprised if we see, plus 3s coming out, as well as elite upgrades. But we'll see how it gets played. Sacred Site going to get neutralized in the middle of the map. Springald's doing a good job. Managed to actually draw the aggro away at the last second. And you can see, oh my god, he loses the Sacred Site. So close, but it doesn't really matter at this point. It's a small detail. He's going to be able to recapture that. We can already see the monk moving out at this point in time. Keep going to be coming down in the middle. Not a lot of villages here. I say not a lot. That's 11 villages. For China, that's a lot of villages. That's basically like 17, 18 villages for any other civilization. And now moving out to the other sacred site, which has been neutralized as well. Bit of a raid coming in. Multiple men-at-arms looking to come through. At the same time, Neptune going to be adding in another village here. He's already got 2 of them. That's going to overpop him up to 200. Villagers jump inside the village, but one of them does go down right as it tries to get inside. And now an attack coming down in the middle of the map. You can see Zertan moving out at this point, and Neptune really looking to just hold this position with that keep. That keep of villagers going to be doing a great job here as well. Nesta B is going to be firing off towards the backline. Mangonel going to be coming out. I don't know whether he spots it. Now the Mangonel fires off towards, I think it was towards the keep. I'm not sure. We'll watch the Springalds and see if they turn their attention towards that. But at the same time, a raid coming back. Looks like the Mangonel has, of course, gone down. And all of the Springalds going to be falling back once again. You can see that boiling oil is coming through. It's going to take quite some time before that boiling oil does come through, though. And now you can see them turning around, actually doing quite some damage here. Obviously have no minimum range either, those Springalds. But doing a pretty decent job here just to clean up this position. And now, yeah, I mean, you can see at this point in time, like, Chinese farming economy is actually pretty insane. Like, looking at this point here, and I think we're gonna take a good little look at this. Like, the Chinese farming economy is actually legit crazy. So if we have a look at the income per minute right now, he's sitting on 2.3k. Chinese farming economy is actually freaking insane. But he's got to be careful losing villages. Now, I talked about earlier in the game, I said, we don't actually see any walls coming up from Neptune. It would have been very simple walls that come in for Neptune. A wall from here to here. Bam. Problem solved there. You know, you can look to wall up the middle in this position. You could have walled here. There's just so many simple walls that would solve a lot of these issues. And now you can see that that Zerton, he's falling back from this position, but honestly, he should just be looking to try and do as much damage in the base of his enemy as possible. You know, just rallying to all corners of the enemy base. University going to be coming down as well. Probably going to be looking for that elite army tactics. We'll see exactly what Neptune goes for. Elite army tactics is a great way to increase the health of your units if that's what you're looking to do, especially if you've got an infantry-based composition like this. You can see that already we've got that that extra gunpowder unit technology. The 20% damage, I can't actually remember what it's called, has already been researched. But Springle's now sitting happily on top of the hill. Where's that boar? That boar, despite having a Rus player in the game, still hasn't been killed. How about this one? This one's still alive as well. So a little bit of a mistake coming through, but Zerton unfortunately falling behind in the early game. I mean, he took a fight. It all just came down to that trap, really. Like, there was a trap down here that was absolutely beautiful. Bit of a surround. Springle's now looking to take out these bombards. At the same time, you can see them trying their best to get through, but going to be falling a little bit short. Now the elite palace guard's going to be coming around. Wall's going to be coming down in time. Wall's coming down in time. He's holding on, looking to hold on. He gets around the walls. And now he's going to be able to try and clean this up. You can see he's got that extra health on his units and so much stat difference between these guys. 6 more health or 6 more attack rather, and a whole bunch of health. Almost more than 100 health. No, it's 97 health difference at this point. Now Zerton going to be under attack over on this western flank. At the same time, there's just attack armor, attack messages going off all over the map, and Zerton once again under attack in the middle. You got to watch out for those Springleds though. Still got, by the looks of it, 2 Springleds left, and now Zerton thinking consciously about these units, these palace guards just running around, and now the bombards beginning to move into the middle of the map. I'm suspecting it's the clock tower. No, the clock tower's not even pumping units out at the moment, but they are clock tower units. Now going to be able to shut down this keep on the front line. It's not looking pretty for Zerton at this point in time. He is well and truly, I mean, at this point, I can tell you guys that the game has ended, but for whatever reason, or the game is about to end, but it's just going to take us straight out. I can tell you that right now. I'm watching it. 3, 2, 1. Here it goes. It didn't give us the countdown, but there you guys go. That is it. I am Boar Enthusiast. That is me. But that was Zerton versus Neptune. A pretty interesting game, I got to be honest with you guys. I like the way that Zerton played, but at the same time, Neptune really... He went aggressive when I didn't think he should, and he punished his enemy. So, good game, well played. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching.